Hi, this is Sara Levin, the Artful Inker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm here to share this whiskey business card with you. Let me set this aside and we'll get to the creating. For this card, we're going to be using the Whiskey Business stamp set. It's a new set in this year's annual Stampin' Up! Catalog. I have mounted the sentiment on my Stamparatus, and I've got a Whisper White layer here, and my Granny Apple Green ink. And we're going to start and, pardon me, stamp our sentiment in a diagonal. Now, this grid is one of those that I send to customers who have purchased a Stamparatus with me that gives you a little more, even more flexibility with the Stamparatus. It expands the techniques that you can do. And it's so quick and easy to line up the diagonals here. So I'll do this one more on camera and then turn it off and finish so that and come back for the next step. And then we need to stamp our glasses, and for that I'm going to use basic gray, just making sure that I've got all of that inked up. And I want 2 of them. Let's pop this out of the way. And then we're going to bring the Granny Apple Green back in and stamp this little citrus slice that's from the Simply Citrus kit. And then let me take my paper snips and we'll cut all of this out. And these are easy things to fussy cut with your snips. Just remember, where you need to go around a corner, you're turning the paper, not the scissors. That was quick and easy. I like to cut it away from the larger piece. It makes it easier to cut. And you can leave no border, a little bit of border, which I've done, or a larger border, whichever suits your style. It's all good. And almost around here. Okay, and then we're just going to cut that right up the center. And let's move some things out of the way and start and put this together. So, I've got a basic gray base and a layer of Granny Apple Green, and then this layer that we've stamped, a die cut using the mini medallions in Granny Apple Green, and another die cut in Seaside Spray using the tasteful labels, and then the subtle embossing folder. Let's see if I can turn this so that you can see the nice subtle embossing texture on that. So one tiny bit of stamping left to do on the inside layer. It's always nice to decorate the inside of your cards. So we're going to give them a tumbler on the inside of the card. And then let's close up the ink so I don't stick my hand in it. And grab my multi-purpose glue. And we'll put this right on the inside. Set that aside a moment, and we're going to adhere this stamped layer that we started with right to the Granny Apple Green layer, since it has just a very narrow border on it. That way it will show. And then let's add a little bit of adhesive here. So the multi-purpose glue is good for this, or you could use the new adhesive sheets. And I just want a little bit on the ends here. You don't have to have adhesive on every little bit. And we're going to go middle-ish, and my piece is lined up on the grid paper. And then the same thing here, we're going to line this up with the grid paper and then not move it as I'm trying to put my layer down like I just did. And then you're just going to eyeball 3 sides, and the 4th side takes care of itself. Okay, let's close this up a moment and grab my dimensionals. And I want some ribbon and linen thread, so we'll make a little bit of a mess here for a moment as we finish up these last details. Do dimensionals on the back of this piece, and I want to set it in place a moment, and then check for my length, because I want a little out the top and then some down here at the bottom. So let me cut that. Okay, and here are my glue dots. And just want to stick these together, and let's get this out of the way. And let's find the end of my linen thread here. I want a little bit of that in this tangle of ends that are going to be coming out. So I'm looping it around. I'm not going to tie a bow here. Just trying to decide how many ends I want, and I'm going to take a glue dot for those. Oops. And stick that right to my ribbon here and pull that off of that layer. So now let's cut this loose and cut these. I'm cutting them so that I have different lengths happening. And hang on just one moment. We're going to use this and kind of try to give it a little bit of a curl more than it's got, using my bone folder. You can pull hard and get it to straighten, or you can work with it a little more gently and give it some curl, and I want curl. So, oops, this one doesn't want to come into my hands. And I want to get it to cooperate and give me a little bit of, just so it's got some more texture happening to it. Okay, oop, my glue dots are wanting to come off my spool here. That looks like something I'll need to take care of off camera. And let's set this down. We're going to go a little lower. Let's see, we're going to put that in place, and let me grab another glue dot for this. It needs to go lower or it's going to be hidden behind my label here. Have you purchased the Tasteful Labels dies yet? They're to me one of those staples in the craft room. Okay. Now it looks a bit like a package. Let me move these things out of the way so that we can see what we're doing. Let's take this out of the way, and now we'll work with our two glasses that we stamped earlier, and we cut this in half previously. I'm going to cut off one section, and then I'm going to cut up inside that one just a little bit so that it will fit over the edge of our glass like so. Okay. And same thing here. We're going to cut off one section and then cut up between. And I'm going to go on the opposite side for this one and give it a dot of glue under here. Oh, I don't think I got any glue in there. There we go. And you may wonder why I recap, and it's to keep the glue from drying in the tip and getting kind of gunky. That's the official term. Add a couple of dimensionals here, and I'm going to double stack these. Okay, let's put this one down. And then, whoops, got to make sure that we're right side up. There we go. And now we're going to add just a tiny bit more embellishment. For our embellishments, we're going to use some of these Flowers for Every Season gems, and then some of the Woven Threads sequins. Let's just pour a few of these over here. And my fine tip glue pen. So let's fish a few of these out with my Take Your Pick. The sticky end of this is perfect. I'm just looking for another small gem. There we go. So let's start with the large one. And I'm going to stick it on here. Oops. Maybe I need a little more sticky on my sticky end. There we go. And I'm just squeezing out a tiny drop. And as you may know, when you use the fine tip glue, you kind of set it and forget it. There's no moving it around. And just a drop. There's nothing for this to soak into. And then use my finger to hold it in place and grab another there we go. Okay, and now I want to grab some of the sequins here I'm looking for the ones that are kind of a seaside spray color. And I'm removing my finger carefully after I place these down so that I don't drag these around. I don't want the snail trail on my project. Let's move these aside. Okay. And a couple more. I'd like a little one. This putty on the Take Your Pick is fabulous for picking these sequins and gems up. And you can find this tool in my store. Oop. Just going to come in here with my scissor a moment. And then let's go for one more. Oh, not 3 or 4 or 5 more. And again, I'm going to use the scissor to push that off my finger. And there we go. Let's move all these away so that you can see what's going on here. And that's our Whiskey Business card for this week's Spot Creative Challenge. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring the bell if you would like to receive a notification for the next video that I upload. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. Bye.